Hey folks, before we get started with today's show, I just want to let you know I apologize in advance for the audio quality on my voice during today's episode. I recorded without the proper setup because I was just so excited to talk to my two friends, Marlene and Richie, on today's show. I hope you still enjoy it. I hope you're able to listen to it. It is still listenable. It's just a little bit more raw than usual on my voice. So without further ado, today's episode.
Whip.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
So you know how to walk, you know how to dance.
This is my dance space. This is your dance space.
Hi everyone, welcome to This Week in Salsa. My name is Rob Castellucci, your host, and today on the podcast I have joining me the lovely, the talented Marlene Navarro. Navarro or Urameshi? I was expecting an Urameshi on my screen, but Navarro.
My last name is Navarro de Jesus. I have two last names.
Okay, perfect. And
I'm just a Korea boo.
well, yeah. I got my intro notes on you.
I
Marlene,
saw that.
And we have Marlene, the nurse. Are we a nurse? Are we?
Yes, we're a nurse.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to get that wrong. All right. Thank you for your service. And you are also a Chinophile, Japanophile, Korea boo. What are we?
I mean, I have an enthusiasm for the Asian culture. I think that's fair to say.
You know, in preparation for this podcast, I Googled that and I could not find the term for the Asian file. I didn't see the equivalent. So
you said Korea boo. I think that's pretty good. I think. Yeah. Or weeaboo in general.
Okay. Just because we went to that Korean
Hotpot place.
Korean Hotpot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Well, welcome to the show, and we know each other through salsa dancing in Gainesville, University of Florida. So go Gators. And we also have the lovely and talented Richie Kerwin coming in all the way from Liverpool. Welcome, Richie.
How we doing, guys?
Fantastic. And for those of you who do not know, Richie runs a fantastic blog that hasn't been touched in about 4 years, but it's still fantastic. It's called the Dancing Irishman blog. I love the blog. Fantastic articles there. He also is a PhD candidate in nutrition, yes?
That's right.
Fantastic. And you're still doing nutritional consulting, or what does the business side of that look like for you now?
That's right, yeah. I work as a nutritional consultant online in my spare time, the little bit of it I have, while I'm trying to get this PhD done.
Yeah. Fantastic. When do you defend?
Oh, God. With Corona, who knows? Okay, but it's going to be at least a year and a half from now, I'd imagine.
Okay, got it. And to bring this back to salsa just a bit, all right, we're a nutrition expert or soon-to-be doctor expert. When things get back to normal and we're doing a 3-day congress and we feel like terrible after, what nutrition-wise should we be doing? What do you think?
I'd say avoid the nutrition side altogether and just sleep.
Yeah, good, tried and true. Like
get back from a conference, take a few days off work, sleep, recover, get better. That's it.
Great. Now, for those of you who are joining on the audio side, we're trying something new this week with video. You get to see our lovely faces. If you want to do that, you can go to the This Week in Salsa YouTube channel. That's where we will be posting the video version of this podcast. A lot of times we reference memes and videos and stuff, and that's why we figured this might be a good idea to actually have some video. So with that in mind, we may have also a surprise guest, Pablo. He's had some connection issues here, but he may join us in a little bit as well. With that being said, let's just hop right into it, guys. First, to get things started with coronavirus happening, obviously a lot of studios are affected. And I did want to spend a moment to give a quick dance studio shout out for anyone who would like to hop in with any dance studios that are being affected. For me personally, we had our Zoom International Salsa Congress this past week, and we had 11 fantastic instructors participate in that, all of which are being affected by the coronavirus. And so I wanted to give a big thanks to all those instructors who participated, donated their time to be a part. And if you want to check out more of that content and things that came out of that Congress, check out, again, the YouTube Salsa channel or This Week in Salsa. That's where we posted some of those videos from those fantastic instructors. Guys, any shout outs to dance studios, instructors that you want to give?
Marlene, you want to go first?
Go first.
No, you go first.
You hang up. No, you do. So I'll give a shout out to the Sound of Salsa, which is a little school here in Liverpool. Obviously, they've had to shut down for the immediate future, so I hope they get back on their feet really quickly after this.
Now, Marlene, it actually is your turn.
No, it is my turn. I feel like probably everyone in the Tampa community is doing absolutely nothing. So all the groups here, I know there's Rithmo. I know Dan McGraw isn't doing much right now. Wow, I've never been put on the spot with sweating.
No, Ritmo, I saw, Ritmo Urbano, that's George Alberto's. They were doing or at least they were part of this, the live performance. I think that was last Saturday. Did you check that out? I did because I was busy with the Congress, but it was an interesting concept. I got to talk to George and see how it turned out. Yeah. I'm just curious with all the new models. Like, there are so many different models popping up and people trying different things. And, yeah, I wonder how it worked out. But anyway, let's hop into the rundown. So first of all, I don't think either of you were at my Congress, which shame on you. But
I apologize.
I want to say I probably was working.
that's okay. Saving lives versus dancing, yeah. But I just wanted to say, for any listeners who are new, who maybe heard about us through the Congress, we were really happy with how it turned out. There were definitely some lessons learned, but the Zoom Congress happened for a 12-hour span last Saturday, and we had workshops for 12 straight hours, and then we had a talent show for the last hour.
That's awesome.
And it was interesting. The model was we couldn't afford, we had no budget to pay the instructors, so they donated their time. We ended up raising $1,200 for production of PPE equipment for frontline medical workers, so that was fantastic. Awesome. That was way more than we expected. So that was fantastic. We also heard from our instructors that they got plenty of donations as well, so we were happy to hear about that. But otherwise, trying to run an online Congress, guys, it's tough. It's tough in different ways compared to an in-person Congress. But we noticed that the feedback was more time for breaks. Feedback from ourselves was we were freaking exhausted. To Richie's point, we slept all day the following day. The talent show, we wanted more people involved with the talent show. What we realized with that one was everyone was thinking they had to have like performance level talents brought in when they really didn't. And so actually after the show, we were just hanging on with some friends from Gainesville. And one of them did like a trick with their toe. So I don't know if you can see my hand here, but imagine this is my toe, and they could move their pinky on top of their next toe over, and like unassisted, of course, but like just move it like that.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a super weird talent. Then I showed them my talent where I can do my scapula. I don't know if you can see that. Richie,
oh my God.
We started sharing all of our weird talents, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, if you did that first, I definitely would have done my weird talent during the talent show." I'm like, damn. So lessons learned. Any weird talents? Any weird talents, guys?
Not as cool as that.
I got nothing, I'm afraid.
No.
Oh man. Okay.
I have an untested like ability to eat a huge amount of food. So if I ever make it over to the States, I will try and enter myself into some sort of a food eating competition. But it's at the moment it's untested.
Yeah, this is the land. This is the land for that, Richie. Yeah. Well, is that some kind of relation to nutrition and eating all you can? What's the story there?
Well, dude, I used to be overweight, so I have a massive appetite. So I can eat a lot of food, basically. I scare people sometimes.
Do you eat something now that maybe suppresses your appetite, or are you just always hungry?
No, I'm not always. See, the thing is, I don't get hungry. It's just so weird. I just have an unbelievable appetite. If you put food in front of me, if you bring me to a buffet, I'm cleaning up. I can just keep eating and eating and eating. I don't have any hunger suppression system, basically.
So there's no like moment and you go, ow, like maybe I should stop.
Okay. Occasionally, if it gets to the point where, I can get to the point where I'm like, ugh, I may have, ripped the lining of my stomach, but if I don't get to that point, I'm not going to stop. Unless I voluntarily decide, okay, yeah, maybe I should.
So that's cost effective for like Korean barbecue. That's really good.
Oh man, yeah, God, if I could live off buffets, I would be, I'd be good.
Yeah, have you been to Hotpot, Rishi?
So I've never been to a Korean hot pot restaurant. Are we talking about like something like Korean chige? Is that word?
Oh, you mean the soup? Are you talking about? There's kimchi jjigae.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like a soup. Uh-huh. Well, hot pot. There, I think every Asian country has its own, but it's like there's this giant cauldron of water. Usually it's one together, but there's places that have like the individual ones, and you have like a broth, and there's like endless supply of meat and like veggies and rice, and you just make sauce and you eat, and you just stuff your face.
So I've had something similar. I've had like Japanese nabe, and they do like obviously a Korean version where it's like kimchi nabe. So I've had that, love it, and yes, I can keep eating. And I don't know if they do this in the Korean style, but in Japan, at the end of the meal, once everybody's eaten most of the food, they get a load of rice. And
and they like, yep.
and like sometimes it gets all crispy on the bottom, and that's living right there.
I've hot potted with Marlene. Have we done it once or twice, Marlene? Was it just that one time?
I think we've done it once. We did it in that new
North
place.
Tampa.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is, for those of you who have never hot pot, I now categorize food eating in restaurants into passive and active eating. And passive eating is like everything you've ever experienced. I order a pizza, the pizza comes, and I eat it.
Okay.
But active eating is like hot pot, where you have to go and you have to make a lot of multitasking decisions on how long am I cooking. It's like a super busy chef in a little restaurant just on top of your table. Like, how long do I have to put this in? Go. And I had so much fun doing it because Marlene was teaching me and guiding me and Rosanna how to do it. But then I was like, oh, this is for everybody. This is amazing. So I brought my dad to Hot Pot, and he's pushing 80. And he was just completely overwhelmed. He was out of his element, like, no, why did you bring me here? I just wanted pizza. I wanted something passive. So never again for my dad, but for some people it's fantastic.
It's like if you go to a Korean barbecue restaurant and you've got a load of meat and you've got a grill right in front of you and you're just throwing meat on and you're like, okay, I want to cook this really, really short amount of time, and then you've got something over here and you got something over there. What sauce am I going to use? And yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. As much as I knew this would devolve into hot pot at some point, Marlene,
sorry,
I didn't know it would do it so quickly. But
like
given that we have a nutritionist on who loves to eat as well, it makes sense. I did want to jump into something I found last week, actually, but with Congress pig craziness, I wasn't able to cover it. Was this? It's in the rundown for the online dance and music resources. I thought this was a very cool aggregator of all the stuff going on. It doesn't look like this is location specific. This is just everything going on with every Latin dancer who's doing something online. So if you click into this tab, there are 3 tabs. There are dance classes, and whoever did this is definitely type A, categorized, fantastic. It's they have their name, their dance style. So we have salsa, bachata, kids, zouk, other, and then you have comments on that. You also have the link to it, and also how they're compensated, PayPal link, email addresses. And so far, this list is up to 60 people on the dance classes. And then we have other stuff like music streaming. We have Kobe Party, of course. We have 15 music streaming services. These are like online music streaming services. And then there are other services which are, let's see, salsa music for spicy quarantine, solo dancing, Corona-free, Blackthorn films, and of course the Zoom Congress. So I thought this was a cool aggregation of different resources. If someone's listening to this, check out the link in the show notes and add to it, maybe. But this might be a good way to get the word out. What do you guys think? Is this a useful resource?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really cool too.
Yeah,
absolutely. If you like anything that, so I think one thing that people often have difficulty with is, at times like this, when you've got all of this free time and you're trying to figure out how are you going to fill it. And like, obviously if people are salsa dancers, they're going to think, okay, I want to do something with salsa. Where do I even start with looking for resources online? So it is great to have something like this where just everything's online and then you can just pick and choose. It's taken a lot of the actual work of looking for stuff out of the equation for you.
Right. and the grassroots aspect of it, I appreciate too. That these people didn't ask for permission on this. They didn't. They just put it together because they thought it would be useful for the community, and I appreciate that. And running this Congress, I especially realized that all the stuff that we do is just because we want to do it. At this point, a lot of us are probably getting bored with being stuck in a house. We want to actively reach out, and we're all doing that in our own ways. And this is one way that people are doing it. I thought was a cool little project too. So
and you
shout
said
out to
anyone
whoever
adds
did
to
this. What's up, Marlene?
You said anyone adds to this?
Actually, you know what? I don't know if you can add to it. Now that I think about it, I'm seeing a view only.
Yeah, me too. I'm just wondering, like.
Actually,
I need some more kids on here. What's going on?
No. Right, I forgot you're into kids. I forgot.
Okay, this is a good question actually, and I'm asking this as the non-American here. So is Kiz big in the States right now?
No.
No.
I have very little exposure here. I went to Barcelona, and that's where I was like, oh my God, It's everywhere. So it's definitely a lot in Europe. Like, you know how, like, especially in Tampa, you have like salsa nights, like at least 3 times a week or something. There, it was like I could find at least 4 nights. Here, I could never find something like that here.
Wow. Okay, but do you think it's growing?
Yeah, I think so.
When were you in Barcelona?
So. When was I in Barcelona? Last year.
Oh, okay, right, cool.
Yes, last year.
I used to live there. That's where I did my master's, and that's where that's the last time I saw you, Rob, isn't it?
Oh wow, it was Barcelona. That was our honeymoon. Yeah,
exactly.
When you treated us to some sushi, man, we still talk about that. Thank you so much.
You had sushi in Barcelona.
Yeah, and Richie ate a reasonable amount.
Oh,
I was behaving myself.
Yeah.
Where did you guys stay in Barcelona?
Wait, what do you say, Marlene?
Where did you stay in Barcelona?
Oh, some Airbnb. It was a very nice Airbnb. It was inexpensive. It was very nice. And we walked everywhere. I don't know. Other than that,
it's okay.
It was like that, and then we saw the new, not the new, the very old. But what's the church, Richie?
The Sagrada Familia.
Yep.
Oh, good. Okay. Were you far from La Sagrada Familia? Or?
Oh yeah, we definitely had to take an Uber there, but it was beautiful. Oh man, it was great. Fantastic. I don't think we did any dancing there though. Now that I think about it, I did very little salsa dancing on my honeymoon. Unfortunately, but we did some in like, and that was about it. Marlene, I have a question for you though. Do you feel that the kizomba has plateaued, or is it still growing? COVID aside, what's your impression on the trajectory of kizomba?
I think it's growing. I've seen more events, more things, more collaborations. I know Shawnee has done a couple like salsa, kizomba things. I mean, you can only go up from here.
Yeah. Well, Richie, what I noticed on the stage is that it's pretty common now to see a kizomba room at all the salsa congresses.
Yeah.
It's also pretty common, from my perspective, to not see many people in those kizomba rooms at the salsa congresses as well. So they're there, but I get the sense that they're not very well attended, and if there were a decision to cut a room, I get a sense that those Congress organizers might cut that room. That's just my take on it.
They I know in some places they join kizomba with bachata, so you might have a joint kizomba / bachata room. They're not doing that in the States now.
Yeah. Well, Congresses in general have gotten a little weird too. The Orlando Congress last year, there was a bachata room that at 5 in the morning in the bachata room they played Aguanile, which like what? First of all, what is wrong with playing a salsa song at 5 in the morning? But then Aguanile of all songs, they're trying to kill the dancers. So in general, there's some weird stuff going on in some congresses I've been to recently. I don't know what the DJs are thinking at points, but yeah, I know. Going back to kizomba, I have never taken a lesson, and I really need to.
You should.
I know. I need to. Maybe I'll take an online lesson. Maybe I'll take that in the comfort of my own home during COVID. But never taken a lesson. Just seen it.
You'll get into it. From I think from a technical perspective, it looks okay. This is me saying it looks quite simple. Obviously, there's going to be very, very difficult, but I think just the base step seems quite simple. Am I right? Should I be taking that back?
I I don't know what it is for the guys. I know for the girls, it's, how do I explain? It's a lot of feelings, like a lot of, it's definitely a true lead and follow. I definitely feel like you really have to pay attention what's going on. You can't just kind of get lost in your mind or overthink the step. Are you making fun of me?
No, I'm not. Rosanna just poked her hand in. She was trying to mess with you.
How is she with this COVID, by the way?
She's
I know
good.
she works pediatric.
No, she's good. She doesn't deal directly with COVID patients, and my skin has never been drier. I take like 3 showers a day. Like we disinfect everything. I'm used to the protocol. I think now it's fine, but in the beginning, like we would go for grocery shopping. It would take us an hour to do grocery shopping. It would take us an hour and 15 minutes to clean all the groceries once we got back into our home. We dunk them into water and baking soda and dry them off, take out all the plastic, take out all the styrofoam. I mean, serious stuff. But now we're kind of used to it, and it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. As long as this ends like next week, I'll be fine. I won't have a breakdown. I'll be good.
Rob, if it makes you feel any better, we spray everything down with, we've got a little spray bottle of liquid disinfectant that we spray everything down after we come back from groceries. We wipe it all down before we put it into the cupboards, if that makes you feel any better. We don't submerge anything. We don't soak anything.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't submerge, but spray, and like all the ink you realize just comes off of things. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Submerge.
Well, apparently it removes the COVID if you have water and you have baking soda in there, and then you put the vegetables in there. It releases the COVID.
Oh, the veggies. I see what you're. Okay, that makes some sense. Okay,
so it does. Okay.
I thought you were submerging everything. It's just like, okay,
including myself, and then I inject myself with bleach, and then we're good.
Oh,
oh, it's funny.
Yeah. Anyway, Lord. Now, okay, Kazumba, right? Is that what we were talking about? Kazumba. Yeah. Why is there technique? Is there technique?
There's so much, and I think when people think Kizomba, they don't know there's like urban, and there's like the world of Semba, and there's just different kinds of things you can even do inside the world of Kiz.
Okay. I'll think about it.
I think you would like Semba. I enjoy it a lot. I don't know if it's in Honduras. We have something called punta, and it reminds me a lot of punta. And I later on did some research, and I found out that punta is close to bunda, which is booty. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assume that punta is just a dance with a lot of accentuated hip movements. So is that right?
It's a lot of booty. This kind of stays in one place, but the booty, a lot of booty. Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't there another very similar word that's a swear word that I shouldn't say on a podcast?
Yes, it's very similar to that word. Yes.
Okay. Got it.
There's an N, and there's not an N in the other word.
Got it. Yes, that's the word I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Got it. And speaking of, that is a fantastic segue to something I came across on a group here. This was, I'm just reading this here. This was about Duolingo. So, this was a Facebook post on a salsa group I'm part of saying, "Dear all Latin dancers, what about you taking the opportunity to learn a new language like Spanish? If you can't reach musicality at least, you'll avoid dancing too sweet on amantes and too wild on un año. You can still sing and have fun with your partner. Me emborochare por tu culpa. Maybe you can also avoid singing in some circumstances." Yeah,
Eileen, why are you laughing?
No, great, good job.
Thank you. I've been learning Spanish. I've
never heard someone put the L in the P, or actually, you kind of just omitted the L.
There are no rules when it comes to gringo Spanish.
Okay.
I still can't do the tongue curl too. It's the la, le, ri, ro, ru. I can't.
Oh, ra, re, ri, ro.
I can't do it. But what are your thoughts, guys, on learning Spanish in this situation, and how that would make you a better dancer? What are your impressions on the link between the language and the musicality of the dance?
Well, yeah, fire away, Marlene.
You know, I think it would help sometimes. I think there's songs that are sad in words but may not sound sad, and it doesn't seem appropriate to be doing a body roll. But I guess if you don't know what they're saying, then it makes sense to do a body roll there. I guess I've run into that situation for sure.
Right. What about you, Richie?
The reason I speak Spanish is because of salsa. So
wow.
I started doing salsa, and I decided I wanted a new language challenge. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna learn salsa and I'm gonna learn a new language, Spanish, together. So I moved to Colombia.
That's awesome.
I learned it there, but and here my thinking was, yeah, I'm gonna understand the lyrics. It's gonna be fantastic. But here's the thing, right? And my girlfriend constantly rips on me for this. And it's because, so I could be singing or humming along to a tune in English, and I will say the lyrics incorrectly because I do not hear lyrics in English. I don't hear them in any language that I speak at all. It just doesn't happen. So I hear tunes and I'll be able to hum along. But if you ask me the lyrics of a song, I'll be like, not a clue. Oh, or she'll sing a song. I'll be, those are the lyrics? Really? Serious? So it turns out it doesn't matter. I could be dancing a song in Spanish that's in Spanish, and I will not hear the lyrics at all. I'll just hear the tune and I'll dance to that. So unfortunately, it's not a language issue. It is. It's a language. It's an all language issue. I just don't hear lyrics. Full stop. Unfortunately.
For me, I have a lot of salsa songs and cha-cha songs and bachata songs that I love. I can't tell you the titles of any of them.
Oh.
And I can't say that for any other genre. This is just salsa that I have all of these songs that are fantastic, and I would not be able to tell you the title. But talk about American pop, hip hop, classical music, anything. Well, maybe not classical music, but everything else. I'd be able to tell you the titles on that, and it's funny that I don't prioritize that in my mind for Latin music. But Marlene, I have a suspicion that you do.
I don't know. I think I know what you're saying, because a lot of the times in English, I can't like particular accents. I can't distinguish the words, and I know they're speaking English, but I have no idea what they're saying, and that's not even in music. It's just in general. I don't know. I do also really like listening to like Korean music and Japanese, Chinese, and all of that. And I don't know enough to be like, yeah, I know what they're saying. So I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe because I'm attached to the Spanish language, I feel like I know it more.
I want to back up. Though. Which is more important? If you can only base your musicality on the rhythms of the music, the instruments of the music, versus the lyrics, which is more important?
I guess in musicality, I feel like you would use the words, wouldn't you, at some point?
I disagree. I mean, you would use them, but if you're saying that words are more important, I would disagree.
Oh no, I don't know. I can't say that words are more important. I guess I can't.
I'm with you, Rob. I'm completely. I'm with the music. I'm with the beat, and I'm doing whatever the music or the beat is telling me. Because think of it like this: you can have a salsa. Okay, I'm saying song, but a salsa tune, and you can have it completely acoustic, without any.
I see what you're saying.
And you can still dance to that. And then if you think there's going to be like a lot of like different sections of salsa songs where they're not going to be singing any lyrics to it, but you can still rock to that, so that's just what I think. But
I see.
Well, musicality is about what? It's about you connecting with music, about you connecting with your partner, and more superficially, perhaps it's about the people who are watching you enjoying your dance as well. So I would look at this from three perspectives. For me, if I'm talking about me interpreting the music, more of the music, I categorize the instruments and the rhythms the same way I would categorize our body language as people. When I'm having a conversation with you two, I can see you and I can also hear you, but I'm getting more from your body language than I am from your voice. And even from your voice, I'm getting more from the tone than from the word. And that's how I interpret this difference of when I'm listening to the music, I listen to the rhythms, I listen to the instruments, and if I'm listening to the lyrics, I'm not listening to the words because I don't know all the words, but I'm listening to how they say the words, which anyone with any language can understand. I know when they're emphasizing a word very strongly versus very lightly. So I don't really need to know what that word is to capture most of it. Now, there is some of that lost in fidelity. I'm not getting everything from that, but for my meaning interpreting, I get that. Now, moving on to me and the other person, if they don't know Spanish and I don't know Spanish, it doesn't matter that if I know the words or not, because even if I make the hit on a word, they won't know what that word is. So it only pertains for my partner and for the audience if they know the Spanish words, which will happen a lot, but it's not going to be 100% of the time.
I suppose one good way around it, Robin, like it's something that because wait, you said you're learning Spanish. Are you seriously learning Spanish?
I hope so.
I am learning Spanish in the same way that I am learning about new shows on Netflix. I am passively learning Spanish through watching a lot of Netflix, basically, at this point.
I was just going to say, like, if you can find some of your favorite songs on YouTube, if you can get them with lyrics, it's a really, really good way to, one, learn the lyrics to the song. So that means whenever, you're out dancing, you can kind of sing along in your head, or, you might be able to word a few of the lyrics here and there, and, might be able to impress somebody who's a non-native Spanish speaker. You can try that.
Yeah, try learning some verbs. I don't know if you saw my attachment on the Rosetta Stone. Right now they have 3 months of free stuff for students, and they don't ask for your school information. So,
sorry, one sec, guys.
Ooh.
Then I already paid $20 last time.
It's so cool. Looking at him.
Yeah, it looks like he's on a screen.
It's so weird.
I was looking on the effects to see if I could do it, but I couldn't find it.
I couldn't find it either. Yeah. I'm gonna have to get better at this.
Sorry, my lawnmower man is shaking me down for a minute. Okay, what were you saying?
We were trying to do backgrounds, but we couldn't figure it out.
Oh, gotcha. But no, but what were you talking about before that? I lost my train of thought.
About languages.
The 3 months to pry on Rosetta Stone.
Oh yeah.
I actually use that for Mandarin, so it's pretty good. I think it's pretty great.
Have you tried Duolingo? Do you have a preference on?
I know my coworkers are doing Duolingo. I don't know how their success is going. I haven't asked, but Rosetta Stone, I had all of the audio, so when I do my long commutes to work, it's just my petite, and I'm listening to the person, and I'm repeating, sounding like a crazy person.
Yeah. Well, Richie, you learned through what? Conversations, or did you supplement with classes? How are you doing it in Colombia?
The best way to learn a language is to get a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever you're into.
That's fair.
No, I've used a few different ways for learning languages. I'm a big fan of using I think they're called space repetition systems, SRS.
SRS.
They're really, really, which actually Duolingo is an SRS. But the issue with Duolingo is I do not think on its own it's going to help anybody construct a language.
Oh, no.
Very, very artificial. You definitely learn vocabulary with Duolingo. I just don't think it's great for helping people to work out on verbs. But yeah, failing, obviously you're a happily married man, Rob, so getting yourself a girlfriend is probably not
gonna work for you.
Not an option at this point.
Rosanna, if you're listening, I do apologize. Hope you're doing well. But I think getting a good language partner who wants to learn the other language and who you're very, very with is a good option.
There's this thing called italki. I did it back when I was at UF, actually. And the person was learning Spanish, and they were teaching me Japanese. And we used English as a basis to speak to each other. But and you could also pay for instructors and stuff like that on that italki website. I think it's just like italki.com.
Okay.
And you just sit there on a Skype messenger with a random person online.
Yeah, we'll track that down. I'll put it in the show notes. The other tool, Richie, remind me of with space repetition systems, which I love. I use this one called Brainscape. They have a free level, and I'm sure they have a paid level, but same thing. And for those of you who don't know how the space repetition systems work, think about it like flashcards. You have a stack of 50 flashcards, and you could go through every one of those flashcards every time you study. But at certain points, you're going to know some of those flashcards very, very well, and others are going to be more difficult for you. So every time you go through a flashcard in one of these SRS systems, you identify the answer, and then you identify how easy it was to answer that question. On Brainscape, it's a 1 to 5 scale. So if you say 3, that tells the system, you know what, I know this, but not extremely well. It's going to come up more often than the next card, which I select as a 5, meaning I know it perfectly. I'm probably not going to see that again for a couple of weeks. Versus a 1, I don't know at all. It's going to come up very often. So it makes your study much more efficient than if you're just going through all the cards when you know all the cards. And we kind of naturally do this in college. I would do that in college too, right? You throw out the cards to the side that you felt like you knew really well. You just deal with the hard cards, but the software makes it very, very good. Anything else on language? Well, my last contribution for this conversation is you could get a girlfriend. You could have a wife. My wife doesn't like to speak to me in Spanish because she gets frustrated by because I can never
can't answer.
Well, I can talk to her and she's okay with that, but then she'll respond very quickly in Puerto Rican Spanish, and I'm like, wait, what? Say that again, 3 times, 4 times, and it doesn't work. But her mom and me are doing classes. And
that's awesome. I love her mom.
So we'll do Skype, and we will talk, and she is like full-on teacher mode. She has sheets of paper that we go through with lessons, like say
that's
apple.
So sweet.
And she also has me watching soap operas on Netflix. So that is also interesting. But the larger message I take from that is the same as when I was learning salsa. A lot of times when people are learning Latin dancing, I have noticed that they want to take private classes, that they want to take a lot of low-level classes and feel like they have everything perfectly. But I'll never see them at socials. I'll never see them at congresses. I'll never see them out social dancing anywhere. And the problem with that is the same as if I was in college and I was studying for an exam, but there was never an exam. And I knew that there was never going to be an exam. It's like there's never this social pressure that exists to make sure that you're solidifying this in your long-term memory. It's just classes, right? And that's where I think having, like you said, Richie, a partner, someone to study with, to hold you somewhat accountable, is really helpful in Latin dancing. Going out and social dancing as soon as possible, even if you look like an idiot, is very helpful because you have that quote-unquote exam or a pop quiz or whatever it is, but you have that feeling that your partner may be judging you to some extent, because we all are judging each other a little bit. But we want to have that.
Are we, Rob? Are you judging us?
Gosh,
of course we are.
I'm just trying not to fall over here.
I judge Marlene every time we dance. Every time.
Oh gosh.
Now,
little lamb.
Now listen, there's nuance to this though. Listen, everyone is judging everyone at all times, right? There's always a level of judging. Now, I don't associate that with the person themselves. It's just I'm making notes, and that's how I'm a better leader too. Is I'm looking and saying, okay, she had a little bit of trouble with this triple turn. Maybe I'll stick to a double spin from now on, and taking feedback. But that's judging in my book.
Rob actually taught me how to turn. He put on this YouTube video of this ballerina, and he had us across. I remember you had Loki at this time, and we were just trying to turn across the room.
Oh, Sinead turns. Those were Sinead turns.
Yeah.
Richie, have you ever done a good Sinead turn?
I have not. What is that?
It's a ballet. It's a ballet turn. A little Sinead turn there. Hang on.
A Sinead turn.
Sinead turn. Yeah, there was someone at UF that danced every kind of dance you could imagine. Her name's Jamie. I think she's the one that introduced me to Sinead turn. These things are great because they. There we go.
It's funny in Irish, Sinead means that's that. It's if you gave something
Sinead.
Yeah, if you gave something to somebody, you give it to them and you say "Shanae," it's like voila, it's like that's it, that's that.
Oh.
I like that.
Is it like ta-da?
It's no, it's not nothing magical about it. It's just like that's a proper grammatical construct in Ireland. It's literally that's that. So there, or you can use it in the context of "there you go" or whatever.
Yeah, I can't find a good YouTube example of this, Marlene, but yeah,
You
Richie,
definitely pulled it out because you're just like, okay, hold on, we just gotta work on some terms.
Okay,
today.
so you're okay, Marlene. Clarify this for me. Okay, so you're saying that you were dancing with Rob, and Rob at some point during the dance said, "No, Marlene, you're doing this wrong." Hold on,
we used to teach. We used to teach casino style and LA style at Gator Salsa, and I was learning LA style because I always danced casino style. And I think when we were learning what we would be teaching, we stopped and we did some turns. He's like, "Hold on, let's do some turns, guys."
Gotcha. Okay, right.
But I would
the only person there.
I would never comment in the middle of a dance, except when I was a beginner and I didn't know any better. But no, I would never do that. Wait, Richie, are you dancing with your girlfriend? Is she in the salsa scene? What's her story?
So I took a massive hiatus from salsa for a long time. So after I left Barcelona, which was about getting close to 3 years ago, I hadn't danced for a while. I moved to the UK, and then I moved to Liverpool, and we got settled in. And then this year in January, we decided to get back to salsa. So we started beginner salsa classes. I went to beginners classes with my girlfriend because she hadn't danced before, and she took to it. She loved it. Still loves it. So like we're dying to get back to classes once this all ends. And
what is her nationality, ethnicity? Did she do this growing up at all?
Is she Colombian?
She's English. Shanae? Oh, okay.
She does. No, she's English. So
oh, really?
She's loving it. Yeah.
Did you say she's Jewish as well?
No, she's English.
Oh, okay. Like Jewish,
what
English?
made you go to Colombia? Now I'm curious.
So what? Okay, Colombia. So obviously, I had this. I learned. Okay, weird story. So I learned salsa originally in Japan.
That is a weird story.
It is a weird story. And anyway, I decided that I wanted to go learn more salsa, and I wanted to learn Spanish. So obviously, I'm going to go to a Latin American country. Right? This is how my head is working. While I was in Japan, I met a girl at a festival who was from Cali in Colombia. And we were just speaking, and I told her, I'm going to go to South America and I'm going to learn Spanish. And she said, you know what? You need to go to Cali because Cali is known as the world capital of salsa. And I'm like, I did not know that. So I spoke to my good friend Google, and he said, Cali is the world capital of salsa. And I was like, right, done, dusted, decided.
Okay. And you learned like Colombian salsa because it's a little different than like all of the
all completely different. Yeah. So I learned Colombian salsa while I was over there. I had a blast. Learned Spanish over there as well, and the rest is history.
Is that relatable? Will I be a better LA style, New York style dancer if I do Cali style salsa?
I'll say this to you, okay? Right. So the things that I learned in Cali salsa, and most of them I've forgotten at this point. I have not really used that much. A little bit of it is applicable to Cuban salsa, dancing casino. But what I did learn in Cali is musicality, and I learned how to actually relax. Because as you can imagine, I'm an Irishman. I originally danced like an Irishman, which is basically equivalent to dancing like a block of wood. So when I went to Cali, I learned to relax and to dance, and I learned to move my hips, and I learned to move my shoulders, and I just spent a lot of time doing that. And that's probably the biggest thing that I got out of it, and it's something that I really appreciate. Just like being able to let my body go and kind of move it, more fluidly is important to me.
Well, guys, we're coming up on that hour. We're going to put a fork in this episode, but before we do, I'm going to end with a question. What is the first thing you want to do once we are no longer under quarantine?
I want to get mimosas.
What, mimosas?
I want bottomless mimosas with the girls. I want brunch.
You can do that now. It'll be okay.
I want brunch. I want to go to some fancy place and get dressed up and just have mimosas with the girls.
Good.
Funnily enough, I everybody's talking about this. Everybody's talking about where they want to go and what they want to eat and what they want to drink, and I haven't given any thought to that at all. But Watkins having this conversation. I really want to go to back to my dance class with my girlfriend and just have a bit of fun, because it was nice, like hanging out with people and interacting, because it's a really good bunch of people, and we just love the class. So yeah, I'd love to go back to that. Thanks for helping me realize that, guys.
Perfect. What I want to do, not the first thing, but the thing I was really looking forward to was a salsa marathon. I want to get over to Europe to try to do a salsa marathon. And for those if you guys know what a salsa marathon is, or the listeners may not know, I just found out a couple months ago from my buddy Roy, and it's very small scale. So imagine a Congress could be thousands of people. It's going to be 200 people around max, and they limit how many leads and follows can be in there. So you're talking about 100 leads and 100 follows. They rent out a hotel. Usually either hotel is included, unlimited meals, Richie, is included. We got buffet style meals that you can eat all day, all night, and you have nothing but social dancing. There are no performances, no workshops. It's just dancing for 3 days straight.
For 3 days. So like there's breaks in between the dancing. They go like cut, and then you guys get to eat.
I've never been to one, but the impression I get is that there's always somewhere that you can go to dance, but there's also very often times that you can feed as well. So you could, in theory, go and feed and dance in the same hours, is the impression I get.
Okay.
So I want to do that.
That sounds cool.
Cool. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, if that ever happens again.
Just to clarify that. So Europe's a big place. Anywhere specifically, or?
Well, Europe.
Okay,
Europe.
Europe.
Germany. Germany.
Oh, okay.
In Germany seems like, and I'm sure some people are listening to this and be like, no, you got it all wrong. This is all I know, is Berlin, Hamburg, Frankfurt. Those have salsa marathons. There's one in Switzerland. Yeah, there's one in Switzerland. And
does this have like an international audience? Like, do people from all over come over?
As of now, it seems to be more of a European thing. Like, people will, I'm sure, fly over from elsewhere, but the only places I've seen salsa marathons are in Western Europe, and there was one in Turkey happening in January in Istanbul. That's it. That's all I know of. So I want to try it out. Maybe it'll grow to the point where I can do it in the States sometime, but I want to give it a shot and see what it's all about. Okay, guys, as we end here today, if our listeners want to get a hold of you, stay in touch, I know we're not necessarily advertising anything, but if there is like a website or something you want them to know about, go ahead and plug away, shall we? Okay.
A plug.
Ladies first.
I guess I'm going to sound like such a millennial, but I have a TikTok. You can find me at Soy Marlene on TikTok and see all of my animals. All I got going on.
Wait, all of your
I'm
animals.
also a foodie. I have a cat. His name is Zen. And I have Pascal. And he's a Jack Russell mix.
So many questions. TikTok. Is this a salsa thing? Are there dancers on TikTok at all?
There are dancers, but they're mostly like pop and they're like routine. So I don't know if you like. I think music is really popular when it has like a song people can follow, and I think in TikTok that's really like what happens. People start dancing the same thing. But no, I have not seen any salsa, bachata. I did see a merengue TikTok, but I was like, but no. Good idea if you want to start, though.
No, I want to stay away from TikTok as long as I can. Richie, what about you?
I suppose I'm most active on Instagram, and a very, very non-salsa related Instagram name. It's Be More Nutrition. So it's like B_more_nutrition. Just because I am a nutritionist. If anybody wants, like a long, long time ago, I used to write a blog about salsa, and that was The Dancing Irishman. And that's still up there. There's no contributions being made to that, but there's a lot of old stuff on there. And you can look at my writing and read it and have a laugh at how silly I used to be back in the day.
Richie, just pointing this out, The Dancing Irishman doesn't say who that Dancing Irishman is. I think all you have to do is recruit another Dancing Irishman to write for you, and then we're good.
Do you have an
I'm sorry. I am the dancing Irishman. Nobody else is taking that away from me. I'm not hiring somebody else to write and put words in my mouth.
Okay, fair enough. But listen, once you defend your PhD, and if we're still under quarantine, when time may settle down, think about joining up, because I really did enjoy. For any listeners who haven't read the blog, it's a fantastic blog. Tell me, do you remember what your most famous, most trafficked blog post was? Because I think I know what it is.
Oh yeah, I almost don't want to think about it. The one that went viral was one about what's it called? Why social dancers are killing salsa, and it was it was misinterpreted by so many people. And some people loved it, and some people hated it. Which I suppose is what makes a post viral.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I if I could go back, there would be ways I would word things differently in that, definitely. But yeah.
But okay, we won't dive into the controversial content. I have to reread and discuss. All right, that's everything. That's our show today, guys. If we can call that a show, but really it's just a conversation. So
awesome.
Thanks for joining me. If any of you listeners want to stay in touch with us, you can check out This Week in Salsa on Facebook, also on YouTube, also on Instagram. Just got an Instagram. I'm still figuring it out, but thanks to the help of some younger friends, they helped me figure out what the heck I was doing. Instagram is TWI.salsa, TWI.salsa. All the rest, just search for This Week in Salsa. And if you want to connect with me personally, go to /RobJCast on Facebook, on Twitter. And if you want to subscribe to this podcast, you can do that on Apple, Spotify, Overcast, Anchor.fm, really anywhere you find your podcast. Otherwise, feel free to leave us a 5-star rating. That would be amazing. If you want to reach out to me about being a guest on the show, give feedback on the show, you can do that through Facebook, YouTube, through my personal Facebook and Twitter, anywhere you'd like. And until next time, let's just say see you on the dance floor.